Hello, this is the introduction video for our Applied Behavioral Analysis project report. My name is Austin Richter. I live in North Adams, Massachusetts. For work, I work as a behavioral intervention coordinator for a local public school system. I'm 34 years old, about to be 35, and I exercise about 2 to 3 times a week, usually running or lifting weights.
Hey, my name's Christina Ferris. I'm 24 years old and I live in Charlotte, North Carolina. I am a registered behavior technician. I work in home, in clinic, and in schools with children with autism ranging from ages 2 to 8. I've been in the field for about 2.5 years now, and this is my first semester at Ball State. I work out around 3 times a week. I mostly run, do yoga, or lift weights.
Hi, my name is Lauren Tepp. I am 26 years old and I am a special education resource teacher living in Indianapolis, Indiana. I am fairly active and I exercise about 3 to 4 times a week.
Hi everyone, I'm Maya. I am 25 years old. I am from Cleveland, Ohio. Currently, I work at an autism center with adolescents ranging from 14 to 22 years of age. Sorry, I didn't mention I'm a classroom behavioral therapist, and I work out about 2 to 3 times a week.
Hi everyone, my name is Skylar. I am 24 years old. I live in Lenexa, Kansas. I am a full-time RBT at an autism center. I have worked with everyone from 2 to 22 years old under all sorts of spectrum-related issues and behavior issues. My current exercise routine involves anything with my clients at work, and usually if I'm exercising in the gym, it's lifting weights or running.
Okay, thank you everyone for introducing themselves. I am going to start our presentation, so this will take just a quick second. All right, the study that we chose to replicate is titled Internet-Based Contingency Management Increases Walking in Sedentary Adults, and that was conducted by Curdy and Dellery 2013. We just went over our introductions, and our group members again are Austin, Christina, Lauren, Maya, and Skylar. So what was replicated? The study that we chose to replicate utilized the internet-based contingency looking to increase walking in 12 adults. The research indicated that the majority of the adults do not engage in enough physical activity, and there is a need to increase walking steps on a daily basis. The study was found to be successful, and the intervention was used to, it was found to be successful, and it actually increased the walking steps in adults.
In a systematic review by Patterson and Warburton, results showed exercise training interventions, particularly resistance and aerobic training interventions for older adults, yielded an improvement in functional and psychological areas. Results also showed that mobility disabilities were reduced, and that there was a correlation of increased rates of physical activity with better cognitive functioning and a reduced risk of dementia.
Another supporting article brings awareness to the fact that physical activity isn't just enough for maintaining a healthy lifestyle. High blood pressure, heart disease, and heart failure can affect one's health if they are not physically active. This study evaluated the effects of walking 10,000 steps per day using a pedometer, and the results concluded that walking the required amount of steps actually decreased blood pressure in all of the participants.
In a study done by Siebling et al., a comparison was done of questionnaire and an activity monitor to look at the validity and reproducibility of questionnaires in assessing physical activity in older adults. The longitudinal aging study Amsterdam Physical Activity Questionnaire, was compared with an activity monitor, the triaxial accelerometer SensorWear Pro. The results showed that the questionnaire underestimated physical activity and is not an accurate way of measuring physical activity in older adults. Activity monitors showed to have higher validity compared to questionnaires in measuring physical activity.
So the supporting literature that I reviewed was a study by Irvine et al. This study emphasized how new technological developments were beginning to offer multiple opportunities for individualized physical activity interventions. So because of computers and mobile devices and all the advances with that technology, it is becoming, there are more effective physical activity interventions out there. This study is similar to our original study by Curdy and Dallery, because this study also has older adults and sedentary adults, and these older adults may have functional limitations due to their age or medical conditions. Also, Irvine was based on the theory of planned behavior, which emphasizes that an individual's attitude toward a behavior, social norms, and self-efficacy are what lead to behavioral intention and change. Recent research has also focused on interventions based on this theory and how this theory produces significant effects on behavior and web-based interventions.
So the overall purpose of our study was to determine whether or not the participants, the 5 of us, were able to replicate the same studies and get the same results. So the original study showed an increase in walking steps. So that was the purpose of the study, to see if we could achieve the same results.
So now I'm going to go over the participants in the setting. There were a total of 5 participants for our replication. That included 4 females, me, age 24, me, Christina, Lauren, age 26, Maya, age 25, Skylar, age 24, and we had 1 male in our study, which was Austin, and he's 34. All of us are students in an online graduate program. It's important to note that we all spend several hours a day seated completing homework, projects, certification hours, but we all also work, and we had the opportunity to engage in physical activity at our jobs. We collected data by putting on a step tracking device in the morning and moving our bodies throughout the day and posting our step count and activity logs each night. This happened over the course of five days a week, over 5 weeks. We were all interested in improving our overall health and increasing our daily steps, which was discussed prior to the study. It's also important to note that we communicated online prior to the study. However, we have not met in person, and we are all strangers. We also live in different areas of the United States. And this study took place wherever all the participants took steps, which may include the place where we live, the area where we work, areas in our community, or places we have traveled to. So now I'm going to go over the materials. Our materials included electronic step tracking devices. This included the Fitbit and Apple Watch. So there were 2 different kinds of Fitbits used. The Fitbit Charge and 2 Fitbit Blazes, and then 2 other participants used the Apple Watch. So we also required access to the internet and a cellular device connected to a working phone service, and also a selected reinforcer of screen time. So when obtaining reinforcement, screen time required access to a phone, iPad, or television, depending on your preference. When it came to uploading our steps, we needed access to YouTube and a Google document. YouTube could be accessed via a phone application or a website, as well as the Google Doc could be accessed through an application or a website on a computer. The law of technology was required for this study. Now I'm going to talk about the operational definition of stepping. For the purpose of this replication, we define stepping as the lifting and setting down of one's foot or one foot followed by the other to achieve walking at a fair pace from location to location or moving to a different position in the environment. Examples may include walking, running, skipping, or jogging while never having both feet off the ground at the same time. Non-examples may include jumping up off the ground with both feet and landing in a different spot or position, lifting one's foot off the ground to take a step, and putting the foot back in place without taking the step. Other non-examples may include waving arms or clapping, which is not taking steps.
Okay, and for our data collection, we all were able to track data by wearing like a wearable step tracker such as a Fitbit or Apple Watches. Steps that were tracked by this device were recorded at the end of each day in a data collection or Google document table. So we were all able to see the steps that were logged in that table. And then we also created a YouTube video and put that into the same data table. In addition, we included a description of the type of physical activity that the participants engaged in a document as well. And now we will show you an example of a video that we recorded that showed our steps each night.
Thousand 468 steps.
All right. And then our design for our graphs was a changing criterion design. And that's what we used. So each 5-day period was a block and steps were tracked during these blocks. In this study, participants were required to exceed a goal on at least 3 out of 5 days to advance to a higher goal. With this contingency, we were able to have like two rest days per block were allowed. And if there were days where samples weren't taken, as in maybe someone didn't wear their watch or they forgot to log their steps at night, that was shown as not meeting the goal for that day.
Data collection occurred in 5-day blocks. The first day of the 5-day block started on a Monday, and the last of the block ended on a Friday. So we did not track steps on the weekend. On the start day of data collection, the participants attached their electronic step tracking device to their wrist from the time they got out of the bed in the morning to the time they went to bed at night, with the exceptions of sleeping and water activities. Baseline data was collected for 5 days to yield a reliable estimate of daily steps walked. And every night before midnight, participants were asked to submit a video of their step total for the entire day. Setting criteria and meeting goals. The starting goals for participants were decided after baseline data was calculated. An example of this is participants walked an average of 5,000 steps in the first block of data collection during baseline. The first goal for step increase would need to meet or exceed 5,001 steps. For each block did require 3 data points to be at or above the criterion line in order to progress to the next goal. If participants had less than 3 data points above the criterion line, then they're required to reset the goal from the previous block. If the steps taken were less than criteria set for an increase, then the 4th highest data point was less than the criterion set. Then the participant's step goal was reduced in order to achieve a more attainable goal, which actually we did come in in contact with that. For our intervention phase, step counts were assessed over 5-day blocks. Participants were required to meet or exceed the goal posted on the table on the Google Docs and at least 3 out of the 5 days to advance to a higher goal. Participants were able to advance to a new goal once the 5-day block goal criterion was met. The new goal was to either exceed the 4th highest step count from the previous block or a 1,000 step increase beyond the average step count of the previous block. If the participant met the expressed goal, they were able to earn access to screen time. The duration of screen time corresponded to the goal set at the beginning of the block. An example of this is if the participant was able to earn 7 minutes of screen time, they met their goal of 6,000 to 6,999 steps expressed at the beginning of the block. If choosing not to use a 1,000 step increase, the formula used for the 4th highest step goal would have been met. For reinforcement, our replication decided among the participants was minutes earned for screen time. Some people decided to earn screen time for television time, video game time, or checking social media. 30 minutes of screen time was rewarded at baseline for successfully submitting a video. An additional 20 minutes of screen time for every activity log submitted to the Google Docs. And participants received 5 minutes of screen time if they uploaded an activity log at the end of the day. If participants failed to meet their step count goal for that day or did not post the video, no screen time was rewarded for that day. IOA was collected in treatment fidelity by documenting and assigned group members step tracking data through the videos shared through YouTube. The videos uploaded to YouTube were checked by a designated team member to ensure the submitted videos and the data points presented matched. Inter-observer agreement was represented visually by plotting the measures obtained by the secondary observer on a graph of the primary observer's daily activity log. If you go to my graph here and you look at it, my steps were not consistent. What was that? My steps were not consistent. I'm sorry. We're gonna have to start over. And I'm just reading off these things. I'm gonna have to make some more notes because we're not seeing faces anymore.
Yeah, I don't know what just happened either. It just exited out. I don't know how. I didn't touch anything.
I didn't touch anything, but I was still drowning over here.
I don't know. I didn't touch anything, guys. Like, I kid you not. So I don't know.
I'm kind of drowning anyway, so kind of.
Austin, do you want me to read
Yeah, I feel like you have a lot in one row.
I do. It's like, and it's kind of dry stuff too. It's not like the.
Yeah.
It's okay. Do you want me to read the IOA and treatment fidelity slide so you get a break?
Well, here's the thing. Like, I'm not trying to just read them now that